it would make the recovery so much longer and so much harder if you were just in your own head alone, like, yeah, in a foreign country with not the support network around you.
Yeah.
I think it's something that gets quite forgotten about this sport and how hard it is for non-Europeans to make that transition to being professional and those first couple of years of being professional. Because not only whether it's just injuries like what I have now, but it's just every day-to-day living. Like a lot of the times, Australians, Americans, moving a long way away from their family, living alone in a foreign country that doesn't speak then they don't speak the language, and you have a lot of time alone in your own head, questioning yourself what you're doing, and yeah, it's hard.
You think that was easier on starting with an Aussie team?
Yeah, for sure, because at least when you went to the races, it was an easy environment. Like I couldn't imagine it being a hard environment at home and then going to a race like with a team where you didn't speak the language and didn't understand the culture as well, because you just had the whole time then kind of like struggling with that cultural and language barrier.
Yeah. And then now, like in your recent step, you feel like you're ready to make that change to an international squad?
Yeah, it was definitely hard. Like it was definitely hard at the beginning to make that change, but I'm happy I did, and I enjoyed the challenge as well, and I enjoyed all the opportunities that change gave me. For example, kind of like at the beginning of the year when we sat down to talk about my race program and goals, the team didn't really know me, and I also didn't really know the team. And yeah, we set out this rough goal of like, oh, maybe you can go to the Tour de France and maybe you can do a top 10 on GC. Like, let's see what happens. And then kind of throughout the year, as the team got to know me a little bit more, as I got to know the team a little bit more, it became a lot more of a realistic goal. And then it kind of turned from top 10 to being like, oh, like, yeah, top 10 would be happy with, but I reckon we can do top 5 here. And then like after Dauphiné, I was like, oh, wow, like we're really getting somewhere with this. So that also led to a lot of disappointment because we had that whole build up from sort of at the very beginning of joining a new team and kind of having this rough plan of like, maybe, like, let's just see what happens kind of thing, to then being like, wow, we can really do something here. Like, wow, that's pretty special.
Yeah. Was that one of the attractions of leaving, that opportunity? Like, do you think that would have came at BikeExchange?
Maybe, but it was more of a definite thing by making that change and having to this team and then having that opportunity. Like it was more of a guaranteed, or maybe not guaranteed, a higher chance thing.
It's pretty cool. Like they backed you in for the Tour de France. It's not like you're the only GC guy on the team.
Yeah, and that was the cool thing about the whole process, was that we kind of started off like not really knowing, and then they were kind of like, oh yeah, we'll give you the opportunity, but we'll just kind of like see what happens. And then to kind of build those relationships with the staff, the management, and the riders throughout the year, and every step kind of getting a little bit closer, a little bit closer, a little bit closer, and then more and more people kind of like buying into the process. I always kind of had a little bit of self-belief there that it was maybe possible, but obviously I didn't know. And then I think the people around me also definitely didn't know. And then every step of the way, there was a bit more buy-in, and then we kind of built this really cool thing.
Yeah. What nationality is the majority of staff?
Probably Slovenian and Croatian, to be honest. And which is quite a big change.
Yeah, was that hard to wrap? Like, obviously, you're quite like you talked about, you build a network in Spain. You've got your houses and coffee shop, and you got a family there now. But it's still a big change from a pretty Australian dominant management squad.
Yeah, definitely. And I kind of didn't really realize it at the moment, but a lot of the staff in Mitchelton are either Spanish or Italian as well. Like a lot of the soigneurs and the mechanics and stuff like this. And now a lot of the soigneurs and mechanics are Slovenian Croatian. And I miss being able to overhear the conversation and understand and be able to like chip in a little bit, because I understand nothing, obviously, of Slovenian Croatian. So I missed that part a little bit at the beginning. It was a big change, but there's also quite a lot of international people within the staff as well. Like a lot of the directors, we have Roger Hammond, British director, Ralph, German director, and we have quite a few international people there that I could connect with quite easily. But yeah, it definitely was a challenge at the beginning for sure.